I actually managed to get started on time today. I gave myself a little bit extra fudge room in the Discord post, so hopefully we will get some in today, and if not, this will be a nice VOD, as this tends to do well on YouTube. The Smallands is one of those games that lends itself very well to being after the fact, just because it has so much nice ambiance to it. And I'm trying to remember where last we left off with this character. I think I was just kind of aimlessly exploring. And, I'm trying to think. I had a couple ideas of what I wanted to do today with this one. And I think priority one will be, I would like to actually have a decent base. The log cabin is nice, but it is very bare. And I didn't go through and give it a lot of details, nor did I give it the ability to be expanded, given where I built it. I suppose I could try to build up, but I would need a better foundation for that. So it might be best just to kind of start from scratch in a place. And I'm kind of torn. I'm thinking about either building near the lilies, with the owl statue, or in the reeds with the frog. The concern I have with the reeds is that it may kind of go through the house. I don't really want to build into the bog area. It's an option, because having a waterfront property seems like a good idea. But not quite sure there. Oh, that's nice. Even the sunlight hits the mushrooms ever so slightly. I didn't notice that. But for starters, I did go ahead and leave myself a present from my first profile to this one. For whatever reason, when I boot the first profile, I don't know if it's because it was an early access one that was ported over into the full game, or if it's because I have the bluebird enabled, or excuse me, not enabled, unlocked, as well as several other pets in the treehouse, but it lags so badly that it's almost unplayable. Versus this character, after the first few seconds, apart from player error, it runs just fine. So I don't know if it's a combination of things or what it is, but where I didn't want to lose resources on that first profile, I've decided to just make a second one and leave it in a kind of permanent stasis. But that doesn't mean I couldn't transfer some of my stuff over to this character. Because this is just supposed to be a fun little casual one. It's not supposed to be the gritty survival that it could be. And I really adore that the game gives you that choice. You can make Smallands as hard or as difficult as you'd like. Unfortunately, it does not have a creative mode yet, but I'm hoping they add that in a future iteration. So in this session, we may have to grind for some resources, but I should have everything I need to build what we're after. That's assuming if the transfer went well. I'm thinking it shouldn't have any problems because I've transferred things before using a method like this. Just as a kind of overview of it, if you build in your tree base that you've claimed on one character, but play in a different, or in the same world but on a different profile, you won't be able to see anything there unless you have your world open, and that runs the risk of invaders. But if you build on the ground and have chests and other things just strewn about, and you're in the same world, your two profiles should be able to see it. So in this case, where I built that log cabin with my first character, this character can actually benefit from it as well. And I kind of took a detour, but this is one area that I was thinking about building in. Just because having that as your front yard view seems rather nice. It is kind of close to the main path, so there should be some resources farmed or farmable through here. But I wonder if kind of like this flat area there, or maybe even up here, might be good spots. It's not as close to the water as I would like, but it has more level area that I could possibly use, and it does have the water feature there. So you get kind of a good view of that and the dilapidated church. So this is kind of spot number 1. Because I do like the lily pads. So I can build on the high ground here, or I think I might be able to build at least something through here. They may prevent it since this is the main path. But likewise, imagine walking out your front porch and seeing this. Although it does have a frog, which may or may not be a bad thing. So I'm just kind of scoping out areas. This is another potential one. It's a little bit more offset. That tree might be a problem if I try to build too close to it. And likewise, you have to worry about the reeds going through the floor and stuff. Or it may say that it has a object interaction, so it can't be built on. I think there are ants near there. I forget, was this mine? I suppose it was. But that may be a good indicator of this might be the spot. Because I could probably build around here. See what I actually have on me. I'd have to build kind of low. This is just to see kind of a general shape. I have yet to go fetch any of my resources, so this is just a mock-up. Yeah, I figured. Because the other problem is when they have a resource area, you'll get that collision mark. That way, because it's a spawn spot, and it doesn't want to interfere with that. So this will be a very weird shaped one if I do decide to build here. Kind of narrow. Wonder how far out I can go. So I might be able to get by with using a plank rather than a foundation there. sometimes... Yeah, you can't do that one. But I wonder if I can do like a flooring piece. This is how I cheated last time and actually made a porch. This will help extend the square footage. The big question will be how far out can I actually build walls? Because I'm betting it'll be at this level. And again, I haven't gone to pick up anything yet, so I don't have the resources that I would like. That should be ample room. And then there's a collision there. Alright. How does that look from, say, here? So that gives me a nice little porch, and then room for the center, which... It may get mad at me doing this. Surprised. Sometimes you just have to build the foundation first. So while this prevents me from having the underground storage like I had in my first place, I could still put the kind of stone path here and line the water's edge. Potential. See if I can get a little higher up to take a look at it. See what we think. Probably should put foundation there. But I'll reinforce it with better foundation, because in order to build up, you'll have to have a steady base. And these wood structures I don't think let you build very high up. So it may start off as a one-story, and then when I unlock the later materials, I could probably expand it to be 2. Although, I don't really need too much more. I could do a loft. But so I kind of like this. I didn't think I'd settle on something so quickly, but just from the mock-up, seems like it has potential. And added benefit that there's wood nearby to help with that. Now I just need to go to my other base and retrieve all that I built. I'll go ahead and gather some of these because I know I'll need them. Because that one's not too bad either, since it's near a dragonfly but not too near the frog, and you can still see the lily pond. It is a bit a ways from most things, especially as you traverse the map and get further into the game. But it may not be a bad place to start. I just like the uh, surrounding area of it best. Although, I did remember the other day that I have not yet played through the campsite area, where they've introduced mice. So I'm really curious to see that as well. So I think there's the log. And I didn't realize those beacons stayed lit during the day. I thought they only started to glow at night. Excuse me. I'm drinking hot tea, so my throat has decided it wants to clear itself. Or at least my sinuses. You can slowly see the house rezzing in. And were this in early access, I could just tame a ladybug and have them help cart my stuff. But unfortunately, I think I'll have to do this all manually on my own. And you can kind of see a preview of some of the goodies I've left. See, this house is nice, but it's very bare bones in that I only gave it a crafting table, a later chest, and a bed. The scrying pool came about later just because I wanted to change the appearance. And I do like it. But the problem is where I built it on this log, I can't expand any further out. I may be able to build upwards, but that wasn't quite what I was after. So we've got bark, and we've got plenty of wood. So I'm thinking we do a wooden structure to start with. Wood and stone. I don't think I need mortar, but I have it in the other chest. Stone bricks, I know I'll need. Because I'll replace a little bit of the foundation with that. Okay, so I didn't get that for the bed or for that. That's okay. And the rest of this I'll leave for the time being. That's what I was hoping to see, is that as soon as I picked up some of those materials, it expanded what I can actually craft. So we may see that pop up for some time. Hey, the recurve bow. I used that heavily in my first playthrough. I'm trying to think of the most optimal route. I don't think going that way would do it. I think this way is better. I'm gonna hit this branch. Good, I can build stone now. So I was partially afraid that just by transferring the materials, it may not give me the ability to, excuse me, craft them. One of those of where you have it, but you can't make another of it. But that thankfully doesn't appear to be the case here. And down is easier than up, so I have to keep in mind that if I do build here, it'll always be an upward climb to go anywhere. But I like the general idea of building here. We'll see once I actually get into it. I may change my mind. And I don't think I'll be able to do too much here. Because where my inventory is now full, I won't be able to pick up this stuff. No, don't go in the water. Yeah, inventory's full. So I guess for starters, let's see. I need some foundation. How far? Building's not allowed here. But it is here. Do I want there to be a dip? Let's see what this starts at. And I think I can only put the flooring down once it has support. Okay. I can't put my mallet away yet. Take a look at our map real quick. Because this one is pretty far from everything. So I could build in the mushroom forest. And that gets me a little bit more northern. And there's the bog. I have a kind of outpost there. And then I really don't like the desert, so I don't think I'll build a base there, but the park is not too bad. I kind of like the park. And then the gray jungle with the broken road, that's an option. I really wish they hadn't put her in there. That was my evil evil plan a while ago, was to build something in the mushroom forest. But those plans were foiled. So let's see. Because there's this little area by the Elder. Might try that one. Or no, that's where the owl statue is. So I liked the idea of a waterfront, area, but excuse me. Where this one is so far away from everything, it may not be ideal. I'm kind of rethinking my strategy there. So that is a nice little area to look at, though. And I can't move it too much further back because that branch is there. What about the other side? The water's kind of deep here. Let's see what this looks like. This is kind of nice. You get, glare of the sun. But these I worry about because I don't think it'll let me build on top. So if I did build, it'd be a relatively small area. Unless I built like here. Ooh, that might be the idea. 'Cause that way I'll still have that as the view. I could build stairs here. Let's see what this looks like. Get some foundations. Must be on the ground. Kind of take it there, and then maybe one more. One or two. Let's see. I don't need a lot of square footage, but I'm thinking I can put the windmill in the rear on that. Again, I lose my understorage, but and I could put the stone here, because that should level out a little bit better than it would over in that corner. Get some flooring. I don't necessarily need foundation throughout. I don't want to cover the water too much. But I will go ahead and maybe here. Let's see how these reeds interfere, if they do. I think I lucked out. Alright. This is where I said I'll put the stone, because of this gap here. I'm doing okay on resources. I may switch over, because I don't think I'll be able to do wooden walls if I do it this way. But I can always go get more. Well, it's bark, so I'd have to go to almost the beach to get more. That looks like a good area for that. Oh, insufficient materials. Clay mortar. Trying to remember where I can get some of that early. There's some near the church. That's a bit of a trek. So what I'll do then is just to give myself a mental reminder that I actually want it here as well. There we go. Now it's snapped. So we'll have to see. So that looks good there. But the walls on the exterior. I'll need one more thing of these if I want a wraparound porch. And then let's look at the walls. This bark, I've got 38. I don't think that'll be enough to go through, but let's see. I'll at least do the corners. And here I will build towards the edge, just because it's not fully a wraparound porch. Because I'm envisioning, if I can build the windmill up here and like make stairs towards it. So that's the start, because I can put my crafting there, the forge there, windmill up here since I wouldn't use it often, and the loft could be on this side, that way it can overlook that area, can have a slant roof. Okay, what I'll go do then is let me go fetch the resources we had over here. I have a feeling some of these are going to go in the water, and I may not be able to reclaim them. See how bad this gets. That's the folly of trying to build in an aquatic zone. It's alright, come on. Just a couple more pieces. Because I have to keep reminding myself small folk can't swim. There we go. And I'm losing daylight. I think there's a piece there. Oops, careful, careful. I think I got them all. So I don't see any more in the water. there's some. Okay. Now the question is, can I get back over there? Without accidentally falling in the water. Oh, and now it's raining. This is gonna be silly, but sometimes you can do this. And let's just make a crude little bed. And we'll wait till morning to continue. Oh good, on stream it actually looks much lighter than it is on my game, as it was really dark there. Alright, how are we doing inventory-wise? So what I'll do is, let me build a chest as well. That way I can deposit some things. And I'm actually going to use my mouse for this, just because if you right-click, it's so much easier. And I'm just throwing stuff in the bin because I want to clear my storage so that way I can actually pick up a few more things and make fewer trips. I guess I should go ahead and make a third and really just drop off everything. And just leave my hammer. I don't remember if I can expand my storage. Don't think so. I think that's preset. I don't think your level contributes to that. Alright. Now we get the long walk back. I don't think I can go that way, but I can go this. No, I can't. I forgot that's not connected. I'm thinking what I do is start breaking down some of the materials that I've made and bring them over so I can recreate them. Because that way I can build on site. So I'm trying to remember where else I can get bark from. So I know I can get it from the beach, just south of Scotty, but that's a ways away. And this low stamina bar, it's just very humbling. Because again, my other character is almost max level, I think. But where that game runs so poorly that it's not worth the frustration. Because it crashes on occasion as well. And I'm betting it's just because the profile is so old. Well, it looks like the first chat of the day is actually an ad. There we go. What should I bring over first, though? I did not grant myself a windmill. I'm guessing the forge and the oven, so I can place those. Yeah, I'll go with the bigger options first. So let's deconstruct this and this. How am I on storage? Okay, it uses a lot of similar materials, so... Will I be able to do this all in one trip? Maybe. I think that's everything. That works out nicely. Now I just have to remember I can build what I had. I hope I didn't mess up by destroying that chest, though. Let's see. So I thought about that after the fact. It still had a couple items in it. Whoops. I'm so glad it's just raining, because the rain in this game is actually one of my favorites. But the thunderstorms that force you to take shelter, they're nice, but where I wanted to be out and exploring in it, it's like, oh, but I want to be outside. I'll say, is that the base from there? I'd be curious if you could see it from here. I think it might be. There's the log. There it is. I just had to render in. So I have to remember I don't have a windmill, but I do have the forge and the ovens. So I'm thinking It's not a decoration. Ah, that's what I was afraid of. So I've got the materials for it, but I can't actually build it. That's a shame. But I can build these. That's weird. Well, that kind of foils my plan. Put this in the corner for now. Well, that's a shame. So what I guess I'll do then is let me make a storage chest for those materials. And I can go get my other character to build it. Let me see. I need to make a few. Ah, welcome in, Puffy Two Puff. How are you doing today? I'm just going to reorder these. Then I'll make another storage one. And I'll store the later materials in it. So those I'll have to leave. Alright, what I think I'll do is Let me get my other character that can actually build the stuff and bring him here. Because I don't want to run the risk of losing those resources. I try to play this one only in short stints, because your tames will actually leave you if they feel neglected. And where I've unlocked so many of them in the base game, or excuse me, in early access before the base game, and they changed the tame system, I don't want to have to go through the enthralling fun of unlocking them all again. You'll see the kind of jitter that this one has. This does give me a moment to show off my original stuff, because here's the bird nest that I made along with my bird, my hornet, my crickets. I kind of built a forge area for them, that way they'd stay warm. And these in early access used to be lit all the time, so it was really pretty. And then here's my base, where I unlocked everything. And this is where I mentioned earlier that it's Viking inspired, but not at all accurate. Where you have this little dugout where you have your fire pit, and then my underground storage. My crafting area. And then the loft. But how many squares is this? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 6 across and 2 on that side. Again, I'm not trying to recreate this base exactly, but something along these lines would be nice. Poor bird. Alright. Let's make this quick, because again, I don't want to mess with my creatures. Get my stamina back. I think I can land here. Nope, too steep. That's alright, I see where I'm supposed to go. 'Cause I think this character can make it. And see how slow the stamina depletes for him? And we get 2 types of storms, how nice. So I'll just hide out here for a few moments. And get to pause and take a look. And you can tell I'm sheltered because of that little blue icon in the corner there. If I had a roof on this structure, I could continue building while this is ongoing. But where I don't, it's like, I'll wait. almost forgot how long these storms last. Bear with me just a moment. There we go. It still is a gorgeous view. There we are. So let's see if I can build these real quick. Maybe that's just silly that it was preventing it. Now the question, do I want these on this side or on this one? Well, they'll kind of block the view. So they're there. That keeps the waterfront clear. And then what I'll do is let me also build I hate to put it in the corner, but at least for now, it'll be out of the way. We'll deposit these. That way I can deconstruct these other chests. Just to get them out of the way. So it was those and the oven I wasn't able to make. So the question is, where do I want this? Because I kind of have to make that decision now. And likewise, all my tools. So I don't think I'll be able to move these for a while. But I want to take advantage of that I have them. Ideally that would be over there. And likewise the pot in the middle. Maybe I can get by with it dangling for a little bit. It's a little janky, but it works. And likewise, I guess I'll do this one here. Again, not ideal, but I just wanted to make sure I built these things with the character that I could. So I've got the stone cutter, the loom. I don't really need a scrying pool. Don't need those. Fetching from... oh, it must be that little one nearby. And clay mortar. Is that a windmill one? I can't recall. So it might be a little ways before I make that again. I'm thinking this could be up towards the loft, since I built all of those here. Then the table. I can't recall on the other character if I was able to make the lights. So that might be another thing I do real quick. I thought I could, but now I'm having doubts. These little ones? And the question is, where do I want them? So I think I'll build the steps first. And then I'll go ahead and replace that. That way you kind of come in, you don't see the stairs, you see that. And now I'll place the other ones here. Whoops. I admit I struggle with the controls. Let's see, I need a wall again. I'm going to change to decoration and then use left bumper to move it. At least as a start. I think I can do that on the other character, but just in case. Alright. And the windmill goes up there, but I don't have the resources for that one yet. So it's a start. So I'll go ahead and switch to my profile I'm supposed to be using, rather than that one. Yeah, that was a little peek behind the curtain, because I'm trying not to use that profile too much, and just start over from this one, but where I tried to give myself the resources and then just couldn't build it, that was disappointing. Alright. And the nice part is, in early access, it would actually teleport you back to wherever your bed was. In the base game, it leaves you where you last left off. So that's nice. Go ahead and advance the day a bit, because it looks like it was about to be night. Oh, and they changed that. It used to be you would plop in the bed and then immediately wake up. But it actually kind of showed a progression of time, so that's nice. Eat some blackberries for breakfast. There we are. Now we can resume and see if I have... Because see, on this character, I don't have any of those options. Nor can I build those little lights. I can build the dream catcher, though, so that's nice. I'll have to wait till I make the second floor to do that piece. But I can do the screens as well. Okay, so that works. And I can do the candles. It's weird that it was only some of them. And what I'll do is I'll just build so it's solid. With the exception of the door there. And I think these look the same on both sides, so it's not too much of a worry. Insufficient materials. I need more bark. Alright. So where do I get said bark? I guess we're gonna go on a little bit of adventure. I don't think I can make it across, but I can go to our map. Because this is primarily where I get bark. Move my mouse out of the way. So now we get to scrounge for resources. And again, I can't go up that way. I'm also curious to see if I can repair my own pickaxe. Or if I'm in trouble because of the resources needed to craft it. So we'll see how this goes. I may have to craft an inferior one. But that'll do well for this character as it'll let them level up. And I know I'm going to invest a significant amount of points into stamina. let's see if I still have the right heading. I think I have to go up and around. Again, I'm trying to remember. The beach is the only place I know of where you can get an abundance of bark. Because they even added more to it earlier. I think in our last session when we were exploring, I came across a old boot that I hadn't seen before. And around it was a lot of bark. I'll go ahead and gather some more wood, just to have it. I think I have plenty. It's the bark that I lacked for. We'll kind of continue on our merry ways to the south, or west. And get to admire the wild violets. One thing they did a phenomenal job with the game is how gorgeous the sunrise and sunsets are. Because look how the light just kind of cascades through the trees. And up ahead is the alternative place I was considering building, just because of the lily pond. You see, I thought this would be another pretty area to kind of overlook. And this is one of my favorite parts. You can actually jump on the lilies. Oh, it looks like we're in for some more rain. As long as it doesn't turn into a thunderstorm, we should be alright. Very fortunate we've had two rain showers this stream on, or excuse me, 2 rain showers on this stream. If I was wise, I'd be smart to get some elevation and just kind of glide down, but I'm enjoying the walk as well. And if you have arachnophobia, look away, because this area is home of the queen spider. Ah, welcome in, Millie Moss. How are you doing today? I'm doing alright, thank you for asking. How's Saturday, or excuse me, not Saturday. How's Thursday treating you? Ah, good to hear. Oh, no trouble. Thank you for joining. think the bark's down here. Ah, the stream's going well. This is my second one streaming Smalland, so not a big turnout, but still nice to have. So here's our rocks. I'm currently on a quest to get some more bark. I'm trying to build a new base, and I realize I'm short on materials. And I may be mistaken. I thought there was here. I thought there was bark here. There it is. And do I stream daily? Typically I stream on Saturdays, hence you heard the slip earlier. But today is a rare exception since I have the day off from my normal job. Yeah, it worked out nicely. The area that I'm in, we encountered a bit of a snowstorm, so it's nice to have to venture out. Well, I like your model, it's pretty well. Oh, thank you. And yes, I did. I drew it and rigged it. It was quite the adventure. I used live 2D cubism to rig it, and then it's kind of brought to life using VTube Studio. Yeah, I started the project for it in January. All the graphic stuff? I think I do. At least for the current part where I'm at now. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Sorry, Mr. Gecko. Don't want to be in combat with you. Ugh, that was brutal. But thank you for asking. I took it... I figured that was going to come next. Where you make graphic stuff as well? What kind of things do you make? Is it like the loading screens or the panels? Oh, nice. Well, that's awesome. If you were interested, yeah, if you'd like to show me, I have a link to my Discord. Feel free to join us there, and I actually have a section dedicated to social advertising. So I'd be very curious to see your works, and again, may not garner much attention given my bare bones Discord, but you never know. It might be worth a post. If you scroll down a little bit, I actually have a tile in Twitch for my Discord that you can click on, and it should redirect you now. That, or if it's also in the About Me section. That was one of the other exciting things with this stream, is that I finally got around to setting that all up. But yeah, I'd be very happy to have you. It seems like the VTuber model has attracted quite a few artists and creators. And I think those who have chatted with me so far, all of them have been of that kind of same persuasion. So that's exciting for me, because I always like seeing other people's works. The kind of purpose behind my project, though, was to see, one, if I could make a VTuber, and 2, if it would be not worth streaming, but if the stream would gain any attention. Because I originally doubted whether I would be able to entertain an audience and keep one. So it's been delightful to have so many come by and chat. Although I do maintain there's absolutely nothing wrong with a lurk, because that also supports the streamer in different ways, and if you find it entertaining, all the more. Because sometimes, I know I'm guilty of this, it's just nice to have something going on in the background. And I think that might be all the bark for the area. I thought there was more. Let me give it another pass, just to make sure I didn't miss any. Because it's a long walk back. So let's see. Get a little bit of a higher vantage point. So I think I've exhausted that piece there. And since I'm already over here, it may be worth it to go fetch some of the clay as well. Because it's on the walls. Kind of lining that direction. So it may be worth it. The question is, where is the crossing? Still feel bad I accidentally struck that gecko. Ah, splendid, thank you. I'll take a look at Discord after the stream. Let's see. More reeds to get seeds, but where I don't have the mill yet, there's no real reason to go for that. Yes, I'll check after the stream, as I actually don't have Discord on the device that I'm currently on. I did that kind of strategically so that way it doesn't accidentally capture any of the notifications, as well as doesn't serve as a distraction. But I'll check it afterwards. Because I try to hang out there after the streams, just in case someone would like to chat or anything like that. Typically I go for about 3 hours on a normal stream on Saturdays, but where this is a bonus stream, I may go for just a little while longer. We'll see how the resource gathering goes. Spike pickaxe. Ah, so I may have walked all this way for naught. What kind of pickaxe do I have? Oh, it's a flint pickaxe. And I don't recall if there's a lot of bark through here. So I may be best just to head back. I can't retrieve the clay, which is a shame. I'll have to think on how to make that next one. But here's some more bark. And I'm not going to make that same mistake twice of strike that poor gecko. Oh, nice. We even gained a level up from that. And that already tore up my axe pretty well. Oh, not to worry, Melly Moss. I won't forget. After I break these next couple, I'll see if I can make a bench and repair this. Because I'm really curious. I may have to retrieve some flint, too. Alright, let's see. Go to interactive, and I'm missing resin. Alright. I think there's some that can be sourced through here. I did make it back across, didn't I? No, I don't think I did. Yeah, I'm still on the island. Oops. Let's go back over. Find my little bridge again, because this water is far too deep for small folk. Because they'll start to panic. That is very tempting, but where my axe is in such poor condition, I best repair it first, or see if I can. And I know you could probably push it a bit further, but once they start to turn yellow, I think it depreciates that much faster. So I want to be careful. That said, though, I may gather just a little bit of flint as I go through here. I believe I need that to repair it. There we go. And now I need to source some resin. Which I think I'm better suited if I go this way. So let's see. That is a shame about the clay. I have to look into how to make a better one. A better pickaxe, that is. Welcome in. How are you doing today? And I don't know if they're necessarily a scammer, other than they may just be very hungry for work. I'm very happy to have you, Razric. How's your Thursday going? That does seem to be the trend of where it's becoming a pattern. One other thing I've noticed is that they'll DM you rather than joining your Discord. No, especially if you shut them down real quick and ask to chat afterwards. But I give them credit, at least they do chat. I have seen a few pop in where they just leave a quick message and then bounce. Like I had one at the very start of the stream that was advertising Stream Boo. It is kind of fascinating how consistent it is. Makes me wonder if they were kind of all trained in the same place. Or maybe it's been a successful tactic for them. Yeah. I've still been trying to figure out what clues them on to something being a new stream. Because I admit, I just started in January, so there's gotta be something on the account that flags it, that piques their interest. It's almost one of those of, they smell fresh blood. And that makes sense. Especially for those that have the kind of hopeful dream of, well, one day I'll be a big streamer, so I need to have all the big streamer stuff early. It's like, no, you don't. Just get started, and if you have good conversations, you might find some people. And if not, the thing to remember for me is you're one voice in a cacophony of several thousand others. Because there again are many hopefuls. Yeah. That their art looks identical, or worse, that you can tell it's AI derivative. Of where they're doing a lot of the marketing side of it, and not so much on the creative side. Well, thank you. I definitely appreciate that. Because I never want to dissuade somebody who's legitimately trying to start their own business and pursue their goals, because likewise, it makes a lot of sense, and they may not know how to get started out either, but there is a fine line between it. And where I work in tech, it's not that I've become immune to it, but you can definitely kind of read between the lines with all the spam emails. Right? That's one of the things that I always try to keep in the back of my mind, as legitimate artists have a following, and the work comes to them pretty readily. They don't have to advertise themselves as aggressively. Now granted, some new streamers like myself may not know where to find them, so they kind of miss out on that front, or it's beyond their budget. But the artists of renown tend to have their own kind of... They don't need to advertise outside of their own socials. Exactly. The old tactic of word of mouth still matters significantly, even in our technological age. Because for my part, again, started this project just in January. I wanted to see where I could, if I could make my own VTuber, and how well it would be received. But I admit, there are limitations to my own skills, and so, like, the graphics you see below in my Twitch, I purchased from an artist. Decently so, I would say. I'm not great at it by any means. The VTuber you see on screen was drawn and rigged by myself. Thank you. It has its technical faults, I will say, and certain limitations. Like, I wish I could have got a better Z-axis, and that might be something I do in a later iteration. But for this being the kind of rudimentary slash bare bones attempt at it, not bad. I was just thrilled that I got the mouth to work well. Ah, so here's what I was afraid of. You lack the required skill to repair this item. Intelligence 60. Goodness. So that makes me wonder. What is my current intelligence? Four. It'd be fine if you're interested in streaming, and how do you find it so far? So far, I've really enjoyed it. I lament that I don't really have the time to make it blossom as well as it should, because a common question I get often is, do you stream daily? And where I still have my normal profession, I unfortunately can't. So that's one regret that I have there, is it's kind of a double-edged sword of you want to invest as much as you can into it, but at the same token you need to sustain yourself. But the ability to kind of chat with individuals as you're playing a game is really nice. I just completed the Elden Ring DLC not too long ago, or just last week actually, and it was a blast for me just because I had others to kind of accompany me along the adventure. Exactly. And that way it remains fun as well. Because I think that's one of the fallacies a lot of new streamers make, is they immediately think that they're going to make it big and it'll be a revenue source. And they get disappointed when it doesn't become that, but that, in my opinion, transforms it into something it wasn't to begin with. In that, if you're not having fun while streaming, why are you doing it? Because for me, the purpose of it was to engage. Of kind of knowing full well that I may not have anyone deign to join my chat, and I'll be talking to the void for probably a considerable amount of time. But the goal was to find people to actually have conversations with. Because I think that makes for far better and genuine content rather than me just rambling. So, in that sense, I'm chuffed to bits that I actually have individuals like yourself that have come to hang out. So I couldn't be happier in that regard. Oh. I know that was probably riveting content too. It's like, lessons in diffusion. Yeah. There is definitely a pattern to it. Because it's not the first I've seen. Now, that's not to say they're all scammers, but it follows a particular demographic. You can almost see the disappointment in their typing when they ask if I'm the one who created the VTuber, though. because I suppose that implies that there's some technical prowess or graphical talent behind it, which means their chances are a little bit more dashed. Because that's the other problem with, I think, VTubing in general, is a lot of, again, hopefuls start out where they go in and invest heavily up front, including conscripting and commissioning a VTuber design. Yes, that seems to be the telltale mark of it. If it's somebody who's legitimately advertising their wares, they tend to have a bit of patience to it, of where they're like, they recognize that, oh, this person's here to stream, and not solely to engage with me. I'll message them afterwards. Now, it could be, on the flip side, that they're just pressed for time, and they can only allot so much time to a stream, but the other side of it is, and the more likely side, is that they don't want to spend too much time on a lame duck, where they know that the deal's not going to go very far. Well, rush for time in that they're courting others, and other adventures may be more lucrative for them. Consider it kind of like speed dating, almost. Of where if there's a spark, they might stay longer. But if it seems like a limp handshake or just the goals don't align, you can tell that pretty quickly. That would be a fun pair. Those who want to exchange goods for shoutouts and clout, aka they want something for free. Should have retrieved more flint. That's a shame. So do I not have the stone pickaxe? I'll have to go fell a bull ant. That's a shame. I wonder why they would call you a bot. Maybe it was just a timing issue? It's a crude hatchet, and then I guess that's the only pickaxe I can really make. So I'm trying to see. As if a bot would answer, honestly. I know I kind of had something similar happen of my very first stream here on Twitch. I was accused of being AI. The audience members at the time thought my voice was. I guess because I wasn't modulating it as much, or it came across on the mic in a certain way that it just lended itself to sound like AI. And I think I frightened a couple of them when I repeated certain things in a different cadence than an AI probably could. So I almost had to do a Turing test myself of like, I promise I am not a computer. I'm far more fallible. So I guess we're going after a bull ant then. Yeah, the same kind of voice and pitch that I'm talking to you with. Let's zoom. Oh, can you really? I admit I was kind of self-conscious of it, where it's just like, uh-oh, do I have a particular accent, or is there something strange about the voice that causes it to stand out? Or is it possibly a compliment? Because that was honestly one of the biggest barriers I had to start streaming was for at least a couple years now, I was making commentary-less content on YouTube because I was so afraid that my voice would be just repugnant to the ear. And so on my debut, to be called AI, it's like, well, that's either a good thing or a bad thing. Monotonous? I could see that. Especially where it may be juxtaposed with the expectations behind a VTuber, because I've noticed quite a few of them are far more animated than I. And I don't mean that in a bad way, it's just they're very energetic and can pitch modulate from going very high to very low rather quickly. Well, thank you. I'm going to treat that as a good compliment, as like, not AI. Although AI can make some very impressive things nowadays. I've been dabbling with ChatGPT and Copilot professionally, and Copilot, especially when it comes to, say, Microsoft Excel formulas, works pretty well. Ah, AI is more monotonous. I could see that, especially where... Oh, thank you. Especially where they kind of lend themselves to a more professional voice. I think that's what it's recorded on. Yes, the expression. That's one thing I think game studios suffer with when they try to use AI voices, is that it misses out on some of the quote-unquote poor takes of a voice actor. This is a silly example. There's a recording from Frank Sinatra when he sings My Way that I actually really like because he giggles about halfway through. And in modern standards, that giggle would be an audio imperfection and thus ruining the recording. But for me, it kind of shows the humanity behind the artist. So it's in our faults that we have some of the better pieces of it. Oh no. You think my voice is monotonous now? I cannot carry a tune to save my life. But Fly Me to the Moon is a good favorite of mine. It really is. And that's a very happy earworm, too. Because now I've got it running through my head. Ooh, a parody of it. Was it a comedic one, or was it something kind of sung to the tune of Fly Me to the Moon? Ah, nice. I'll have to look that one up later. As it sounds quite the laugh. 'Cause what did the poor moon do? Ah, perfect. Thank you. I'll have to take a look at that one. Trying to recall the last parody that I watched that was fun. I think, I don't want to say it's gone viral, but there's one for the new Disney's Snow White live action film where someone put to song the comment section, and both parts 1 and 2 were hilarious. I can't remember the YouTube channel that produced that, though. Let's see where the chatted lyrics of the music. I have seen a couple of those. I think last week I watched one for Star Wars, the prequels, between Anakin and Obi-Wan, when they're in their pivotal fight. I think they're AI augmented, where you can see the base actors beneath of them, and occasionally the syncs desync, but they're pretty funny. More of like the little quick chuckle humor, rather than a full belly laugh. Or maybe a chort. Like a quick little like... So I would say I wouldn't purposely seek them out other than maybe that Snow White one, because the comments are a riot. But the others, if you come across them, great. If not, you're not really missing out on too much. When do I stream? Typically on Saturdays, around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is an anomaly because I actually had off from work. From the EU, I wish. Unfortunately, I am from the States. I know all the boos and hiss can commence now. That's another comment I get often is, I sound as if, in some aspects, from the EU. Well, good. At the very least, I hope no one holds it against someone if they are, because I hold the opinion, yes, we have a fairly poor reputation, but we're not all bad. Exactly. And I think that's the best way to do it, is where you see them as they are, rather than as a conglomerate. Because you never quite know. You do them a disservice by lumping them in all together. And the streamer's time zone is always a pain for you. I need to look up what Eastern Standard Time is converted to GMT, That way I can kind of post that and make it a little bit easier. As I was looking up, was it Brazil the other day? And I think they're GMT -3. Yeah, we do have some things of interest. But how about yourself, if you don't mind me asking? Where are you hailing from? Asia? Nice. That would make aligning stream times very hard because it's pretty late in the evening for you now, isn't it? Because I think Japan is 14 hours ahead. Yeah. We have very little overlap. True. I think the only kind of recompense you could have there is if you find a streamer in the EU you like, if they have a VOD up, where you could watch it after the fact. But if you like engaging with chat, that really doesn't scratch that same desire. Yeah, they're streaming while you're sleeping. And if you're like me and you have a standard day job, it's hard to kind of toil with that. It's like, I'd like to stay up, but the responsible side of me says, no, I best go to bed because otherwise I won't be able to function in the morning. Oh goodness, 4 a.m. is still very early though. Unless you have a long commute into, if you assuming you work from an 8 to 5, that 4 a.m. slot would be difficult. You might catch the tail end of it if they stream for a few hours. Well, I really can't say anything because I'm playing hooky today myself. Although, to be fair, it is a scheduled time off. So it's not quite hooky, but it feels like it. But I do have to say I am thankful for work, because this allows streaming to remain a hobby. And I'm allowed to have fun with it, rather than have the pressure of, oh no, I have to perform and I have to gather an audience. But at the same token, there are many a days where I can't tell you how many times I've thought of like, man, I wish I was streaming right now rather than, or playing a game right now rather than sitting through this meeting. But on the balance, I wouldn't trade it. You're suffering from your own job anyway? Understandably so. Any particular woes you would like to vent, or just more of the distraction of like, I don't even want to think about it? What was that? Because work can be rather draining and soul-sucking. Especially if it's work rather than, say, a career. Because I do make that distinction. Also, you're new to the industry and you don't know anything. So you have the beginner's frustration of everyone around you knows what to do already. You're ashamed to ask because you don't want to feel like a burden. And on top of that, it's just that learning curve is steep. But the good news there is, once you've started something, and as you continue to do it, it'll get easier as it goes. In theory, at least. Oh, the opposite. So you've been in a similar industry before, or you have some semblance of what's to be done, but they're not adhering to what your expectations would be. Oh, I see. And that can also be very stifling, of where if the senior doesn't trust the new up and coming person, so they're kind of hesitant to share the work. I gotcha. Absolutely, especially where it feels like it's a stagnation of, I want to learn how to do this, but the only way I can is if I try my hand at it. I get that. He did let you have some stuff, but the job itself would have a rush time. Oh. Hmm. That is quite the conundrum. Gotcha. Well, the nice part in the assisting role is you can take more of an opportunity to take 4 or 5 steps back and really observe how it's done, rather than doing it yourself. But if you're confident that you could do it, I could see the frustration. Hmm. So now you've got the added worry of, will they keep you on after that probation period? That is tough. I do hope that it goes well and you get excellent marks on your reviews. Yes, especially if they don't explain it as they're doing it. I wouldn't say it was a complete and total loss on that, because it was a thing learned. Because at least for me, if I mess something up while I'm learning it, or if it's a kind of publicly visible mistake, I am very inclined not to make that mistake again. Just, I don't know if it's out of embarrassment, or just I remember it more, so that way it's a better learning tool than most. Because I'll remember when I made that mistake. So I would say treat it as just that. It was a learning opportunity. Ooh, that can be difficult. Where you have the language barrier on top of it. Definitely. Because then you always have the kind of thought in the back of your mind, are they excluding me on purpose while speaking a language I know they know that I don't know? Or is it just habit for them and that's how they best converse between each other, and it's regardless of my presence or not? Wants to switch your job role. That could be an opportunity in disguise of maybe you'll get paired with a different senior who is more inclined towards teaching. And it might be something that you would enjoy do and it's inherent. You don't think so? Oh no. So in that kind of scenario, you're the jack of all trades and master of none, because you have to fulfill so many roles. So if there's only 3 people and they want to switch your roles, it'd be working with the other person. Oh, and it would be shifting to sales. That would be a difficult shift. Because it takes a very special kind of person to endeavor into sales. I don't know if I could do it. Especially given the current global economy and the buying power of individuals. That makes it just that much harder. Yes, I admit I try to avoid positions where I'm handling money myself. Because being an admin role is one level of responsibility. It's another thing when you're held accountable for that as well. And to your point, you don't want to have to chase after people. Just to be in a job. That is true. And if you wanted to burn that bridge, you could kind of broach that topic with the boss and be like, well, just so you know, I left a role because I wanted to avoid this kind of responsibility, and I'm not interested in pursuing it in my current. That may be a devastating move, but it would be an honest one. Yeah. And that way you can say that it's like, look, I pursued this for certain reasons. That is hard. Where you're juggling whether it's like, do I speak up with this or do I leave it as is because I need the experience in order to line the resume and be more attractive to the next. That is a tough position. Goodness, jobless for a year. I bet that was a very agonizing time. And yes, the job market is very daunting to have to go through all that searching. Yeah, you couldn't spend it on anything, and just that constant nagging worry is what would get me. What do? I actually work in the technical field of where I'm a kind of sysadmin slash IT support help desk manager. So I handle all things from end user support to systems and firewalls. Well, low level. It's not as bad as some people think. It's more of like a level 3 engineer, of where I'm escalation. It can be, yes. The market is very oversaturated. And there's so many different kinds of technicians that it makes it difficult. Especially where employers tend to look for what we call the unicorns of, take like web development for instance. There are certain skill sets of those who can make the structure of the website, and then there are those who make it graphically pretty. And those are two very distinct jobs. And yet employers think, oh, well, you do web stuff, so you can do all of this. It's like, no. And then there's the securing the website side of it too. It's just, oh, it's got so much to it. Well, so too with other things, like you can be an application support specialist, so you know the ins and outs of particular software. And then you can also be a server person who handles the infrastructure in which that is built on, and yet another role for the securing of it, so you might handle the firewalls and the other security policies. So there is heavy specialization in it. But I still find it a fulfilling role. Because in all aspects that I've ever been a part of it with, it comes down to, was I able to secure this, or was I able to help this user in this way? And that makes the most sense for me. I'll hire you. I can say we don't deal with money. It's not my side of the house, at least. So I'm very grateful for that. Because I have been in part of tech companies that handle that side of it, and no thank you. Just talking about having to chase people down for it. Ugh. It is definitely one of the harder parts of the job. In any job, really. If you have to deal with the money, it's like, I could see it. That's a very different dichotomy of where if you're collecting it from the bosses, they know what to expect. The customers tend to be a bit surprised. Right. Because again, the bosses knew to expect that. I may just have enough. I'm not sure. I'll probably run out of bark at like the last one. Yeah, I won't have enough. That's a shame. Almost finished. Although I could take down some of these. It's a framework for a house. It's not quite nice yet. There's much more I'd like to do with it, but given the resources I've managed to gather thus far. It's more like a little shack, but it'll serve a function. Raised to the ground house? Oh, you have to tell me about that one. Yeah, 'cause all these will require bark. Oh, fair enough. That would be a non-existent one for sure. Yeah, I don't think I have any here. I do recommend the game, though. It has a little bit of fault when it comes to the crafting system, um, in that it requires an abundance amount of resources. I wish it were available on all platforms. I think it's only on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. I don't think it's on the Switch. But I've always enjoyed my time with it. I think I'll seal off this floor, even though this isn't the material I want yet, just so I don't keep falling through. Just to get an idea of what it's going to look like. Yes, it is. That's what I'm currently on, is PC. And one of the nice things with it is it actually lets you choose the difficulty of it. So if you really adore the gritty, difficult survival sims, it can be that way. Or it can be just this passive little cozy game like I have it, of where I have the creatures set not to aggro unless I accidentally smack them first, or antagonize them. And likewise, you can adjust the hunger and other sliders too. Like, one of the main things that I like and dislike with it is you can even set it so that structures are damaged by weather. So you have a constant battle of, oh, I need to repair my base. Oh, absolutely. Please, ask away. I would take that as a compliment. Because that means it's not too nasally and it's not too abrasive in certain ways. And it's not too high-pitched either, that would be off-putting. So, compliment for me. Is your Norwegian streamer the same, where they kind of sound androgynous? Or are they more declarative one way or the other? Oh, they're a girl, but they go by he, him pronouns. Or female presenting, at least. And that's kind of you to honor their preferences. Just go get a little bit more bark. Although, that leaf kind of creeping in's nice. Eat some breakfast for this poor little one. Well, it's kind of fortuitous that that works out for him then. Because if they're trying to present in a certain way, and with your eyes closed you can't tell one way or the other, then I'm going to call that a win. Although, quote-unquote, passing shouldn't interfere with preference. Because I'm one of those supporters of, as long as it makes the person happy, let them be. That's awesome. I'm hoping they have a good following and a good community that they're with as well. Because it's always nice to surround yourself with supportive individuals. Just likewise, thank you for you. It's been delightful having you as a companion as we walk through this. Find back their name. It may be in your Twitch history, and they may not have a VOD available, but you might be able to search through it that way, or whatever streaming platform they were on. And depending on how long it's been, if you did so from a browser on a computer, you could probably go through your history. Oh, you did? Hmm. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I bet your browser has cleared itself since then. And like we were saying earlier, there's such a cacophony and a significant pool of individuals who are trying to be streamers and people who are successful as streamers. It's hard to find one. I might be biased in this sentiment, but those who do it as a hobby tend to enjoy it more because there's less on the line. And I get it, there is a significant amount of stress when you make it a business. And I don't mean to besmirch anyone that has. If anything, I wish them all the best because they've done more than most. But those who do it as a hobby can maintain its sense of fun and lightness. Exactly, to each their own. And I just wish them peace in whatever they end up doing. Because could you imagine the poor individual that's not only working, but also streaming and enjoying neither? My heart goes out to that kind of person. Because then they're twice over miserable. Oh, the world event's actually close. Well then, let's see what it is. Bet this is the locust. That's a shame. I wonder if the market got to him, or where they just don't have the time of day. This look like the locust ones. Oh, the lubbers. I don't think I can hit them from up here. Let's see. Oh, that'll take way more arrows. Oh dear, that's quite sad to hear. Of the 50 you follow, only 10 or so are active? That's a shame. Oh, it looks like it's turning fall here. Alright. Yeah, have you seen that be a trend of where many would start and then stop suddenly and just never return? Maybe they decided it just wasn't for them, or the more unfortunate side of it may not have been feasible for them to continue. Because life. Recently saw a post about someone saying they followed up with someone who debuted and then stopped streaming after 6 weeks. I give them credit for making to the 6-week mark, because that's close to the time in which a habit would be formed. Isn't it, what, 60 days for a habit to be ingratiated?